Hi, the purpose of this video is to cover the whole area of the LCN logical channel numbering feature that comes by default has been turned on the Triax TSC114. And what we found is that this particular feature, although designed to make life easier, is actually making things much more complicated for people. So what we're actually doing now is we're just showing that if you have to do a rescan of terrestrial channels and you want to keep the actual order of your channels exactly as you want them, it's much better to do it with the LCN turned off. So this process is going to take a little bit of time, so I'm going to kick off the process and give an overview of it. But I'll just start off by mentioning the following fact, that we have done the satellite scan with the LCN turned off, and we have the UK satellite channels starting from 001. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to press the exit button to get out of there, the menu button to go into the thing. We'll go to the installation menu, and I'm just going to select that, and I'll type in the default password, which is 4 zeros. So what we want to do is we want to do a scan of the Irish terrestrial channels, and we want to do it with the LCN off. Now we could do, if we come down here and flick it onto LCN on, it would work, okay? So what we'll do here is we want to do an automatic scan, and this is better to do it this way, and I'm going to give an overview of that now in a minute. So in terms of a lot of the discussion here, I'm leaving it for now, simply because I'll do it as we're going through the progress of tuning this in. So what would happen, we'll say, if you do it with the LCN turned on, okay? If you have the satellite channels scanned in, LCN on, and then you've LCN turned on for terrestrial scan, it'll add on all the Irish channels at the top of the list, which of course is exactly what you want. But the unfortunate thing then is that it actually pushes the satellite channels to start back in position 251, and this is clearly not what people want. So after much sort of consideration of this, we think rather than getting into complex explanations, it was just better that we pre-program all our boxes with LCN turned off, and we advise people to use that as a default thing, because it just makes it much more clear what's happening when you're scanning channels, etc. like that. So an interesting feature of the Triax TSC114 is that it's pulling in from a range of different transmitters. It'll add on all the things and then figure out which is the strongest signal and delete the ones that are weakest. And the other thing to note about, we were doing the scan here in November of 2013. So right now we'll say we're working in a 2 mux situation where we have some of the Irish channels are coming off on a certain frequency on one of the mux, and the additional channels such as RTHD are coming on a different frequency. So we'll be pulling in 2 muxes from each of the different transmitters, and as we can see here, when it's actually doing the scan here, a number of the channel names are actually blank, and that's pretty poor actually by the RT networks that let such thing happen. But what we'll do here is we can see the Irish channels go all the way down to 34 there, so we just say OK, and we're saving the data here. And I'll just exit out here, okay? And if we come along here, we'll see that all the terrestrial channels have been added on to the top of the list, which is of course exactly what we want. And when we come down along then, we can see here that from channel 18 is where the BBC channels start. So not down in 251, which is exactly what we don't want. So people at this point will say, during the changeover period here, might be extremely frustrated that they have these blank channels and they seem to have a lot of duplication and things like that. What I'm going to say to you is, do not delete the extra channels here for 2 reasons. One is that you won't be exactly sure what you're deleting because a lot of channels are blank. And the second thing is that during the transition period of you moving from a single mux to a multiple mux, what they're going to be doing is they're going to have a lot of extra channels being broadcast for test purposes, etc. But if you come along with your 114 box and you delete the extra channels, every 48 hours or so, your box is looking and seeing you have all the Saorview channels. It'll detect that you're missing certain blank channels and it'll be prompting you to scan again. Simply live with the bad unsatisfactory order of channels, and we'll say from early 2014 they say that the whole thing will be compacted down. There'll only be the high definition version of RT1 rather than the standard and the high definition that we currently have, and that's the way it'll be going forward. So that's it anyway. Hopefully it sheds a little bit of light on the whole topic of LCN and the advantages of running this with LCN turned off.